to mark the medium of Mark's Unexplained World on Hinckley Community Radio, a non-profit podcast radio station. This episode is about the hollow earth concept.
The hollow earth is a concept that proposes that the planet Earth is in fact entirely hollow, or at least contains a large open and usable interior space. It was notably suggested by the English astronomer Edmund Halley back in the 17th century. His notion was first tentatively disproven by a French mathematician, Pierre Bouguer, in 1740, then definitely disproven by English mathematician Charles Hutton in around 1774. Throughout the mid-19th century, the concept was still occasionally defended, but it eventually became part of the popular pseudoscience and was no longer seen as a scientifically viable hypothesis. The concept of a hollow earth still recurs in folklore on occasion and in a premise for subterranean and science fiction. The hollow earth concept also reoccurs in conspiracy theories, such as the legendary underground kingdom of Agartha, and it is often said to be inhabited by mythological figures and political leaders. Greetings, Unexplainers. Thank you again for tuning in and listening to the weird and wonderful things I talk about in Mark's Unexplained World. My name is Mark Hughes. I'm a psychic medium, a coffee addict, and a man who often opens his front door, looks out at the world outside and asks himself, why? In this episode, I'm going to tell you about the history and myths that surround the hollow earth concept. And this week's necessary disclaimer: if you really believe the world is hollow, don't fall in. Not only that, but all opinions and comments are strictly my own, but the facts still remain, so you listen at your own discretion. I also apologise if I pronounce anything incorrectly. My English, although it is my first and only language, often fails me, especially when my parents gave us dictionaries to learn from, and I thought it was a recipe for alphabet soup. Anyway, let's get back to this hollow earth concept thing. In ancient times, the concept of a subterranean land inside the earth appeared in many mythologies, folklores, and legends. The idea of a subterranean realm seemed arguable and became intertwined with the concept of places of origin or the afterlife, such as the Greek underworld, the Nordic Svartfellheim, the Christian hell, and the Jewish Sheol. The idea of a subterranean realm is also mentioned in Tibetan Buddhists' belief. So let's take a look at some of these legends and folklores from around the world. According to one story from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, there is an ancient city called Shambhala, which is actually located inside the earth. And according to the ancient Greeks, there were caverns under the surface, which were entrances that led to the underworld, some of which were the caverns to various different places. In the Indo-European populated areas of the Thracian and Dracian legends, it is said that their caverns were occupied by an ancient god called Zalmoxis. And in the Mesopotamia religion, frog in my throat, and in the Mesopotamian religion, there is a story of a man who, after travelling through the darkness of a tunnel in the mountain of Mashu, entered into a subterranean garden. In Celtic mythology, there is a legend of a cave called Crouchen, which is also known as Ireland's Gate to Hell, a mythical and ancient cave from which strange creatures would emerge and be seen on the surface of the earth. There are also stories of medieval knights and saints who went on pilgrimages to a cave located in St Patrick's Purgatory on Station Island near County Donegal in Ireland, where they often made journeys inside the earth into a place of purgatory. And in County Down, Northern Ireland, there is a myth which says that some of the tunnels lead to a land of the subterranean place called Tuatha de Danann, that is inhabited by a group of people who are believed to have introduced Druidism to Ireland and then went straight back underground. Natives of the Trebian Islands, which is a set of islands off the coast of New Guinea, believe that their ancestors came from a subterranean land through a cavern hole called the Abocula. And Mexican folklore also tells of a cave in a mountain 5 miles south of Ojinaga, and that Mexico is possessed by devilish creatures who came from inside the earth. Back in the Middle Ages, an ancient German belief was held that some of the mountains located between Eisenach and Gotha hold a portal to the inner earth. And a Russian legend says that the Samoyeds, who are an ancient Siberian tribe, travelled to the cavern city to actually live inside the earth. The Italian writer Dante Alighieri, I think that's right, described a hollow earth in his well-known 14th century work, Inferno, in which the fall of Lucifer from heaven caused an enormous funnel to appear in what was previously solid and spherical earth, as well as an enormous mountain opposite that was called Purgatory. On one of my interesting side notes, Inferno is Italian for hell. In Native American mythology, it is said that the ancestors of the Mandan people in ancient times emerged from a subterranean land through a cave on the north side of the Missouri River. There is also a tale about a tunnel in the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona near Cedar Creek, which is said to lead inside the earth to a land inhabited by a mysterious tribe. It is also believed that the tribes of the Iroquois, that their ancient ancestors emerged from a subterranean world inside the earth. On another interesting side note, the Iroquois, or the Haudenosaunee, is that right? Haudenosaunee, I think that's right.
I couldn't pronounce it any other way.
Okay, you get the idea. Are an Iroquoian-speaking confederacy of Native Americans and are the First Nations peoples in Northeast North America and upstate New York. The Brazilian Indians who live alongside the Paraíba River in Brazil claim that their forefathers emerged in ancient times from an underground land and that many of their ancestors still remained inside the hollow earth. And it is said that the ancestors of the Inca, I can pronounce that, supposedly came from a set of caves which are located east of Cuzco in Peru. There are, of course, many other legends regarding the hollow earth concept, but I don't like making my podcast too long, so if you are interested, the best thing to do is check out the many sites online, or if you're a boomer like myself, check out the local library. In 1692, English astronomer, mathematician and physicist Edmund Halley conjectured that the Earth might consist of a hollow shell about 500 miles thick, with two inner concentric shells in an innermost core. Atmospheres separated these shells, and each shell has its own magnetic poles, with the spheres rotating at different speeds. Edmund Halley proposed this scheme in order that he would help to explain anomalous compass readings. He envisaged the atmosphere inside as luminous and even possibly inhabited, and speculated that it was the escaping gas that causes the aurora borealis, otherwise known as the Northern Lights. French military officer and adventurer Leclerc Milfort in 1781 led a journey with hundreds of the Muskogee people to a series of caverns near the Red River above the junction of the Mississippi River. According to Milfort, the original Muskogee people's ancestors are believed in ancient times to have emerged out from the caverns to a surface of the earth. Leclerc Milford also claimed that the caverns, and I quote, could easily contain 15,000 to 20,000 families. It is often claimed, but far from confirmed, that mathematician Leonard Euler proposed a single-shell hollow earth with a small sun approximately 1,000 kilometres across at the centre, providing light and warmth for an inner earth civilization. In 1864, in Jules Verne's Journey to the Centre of the Earth, Verne describes an expedition into the Earth's interior via the fictional Icelandic volcano Skataris. The protagonist did not actually reach the centre of the Earth, but nevertheless, they were able to discover a subterranean ocean that was inhabited by creatures who were believed to be extinct. They eventually escaped through another volcano on the Italian island of Stromboli. And in 1885, William Fairfield Warren's book, Paradise Found, The Cradle of the Human Race at the North Pole, presented his belief that humanity originated on a continent in the Arctic called Hyperborea, which in turn influenced some early Hollow Earth supporters. According to Marshall B. Gardner, both the Eskimo and Mongolian people had come from the interior of the Earth through an entrance at the North Pole. And on yet another interesting side note, Marshall B. Gardner was a Canadian-born author of a Hollow Earth theory that posits there is a sun at the centre of our planet's interior, and that the other planetary bodies in our solar system are constituted likewise, based on his viewing of photographs of Mars. After a short break, we'll look at some of the conspiracies regarding the Hollow Earth concept.
This show is brought to you by courtesy of Neil Packer and the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre. Find them online at www.hauntedresearchcentre.com or at 9 to 11 Regent Street, Hinckley, LE10 1AW. Open Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for guided tours of the haunted rooms at just £3 per person. Booking is essential at all times and over 16s only, unless accompanied by an adult. The haunted rooms are extremely haunted, and paranormal activity could, and has, taken place at any time. Some areas and particular objects or items can be quite scary and unnerving. Why not pay them a visit to see for yourself? Membership is available for £25 to qualify for selective discounts. And why not download the app, available on both iOS and Android, for only $3.99 to keep you up to date with what's coming up at the centre.
Fright Nights was established in 1999 and was the first company in the world to offer overnight ghost hunt experiences to the general public, pioneering paranormal events since the last century. Now, over 23 years old, hundreds of ghost hunts join Fright Nights every month for the most thrilling ghost hunting experience worth remembering. If you have never been on a ghost hunt before, then why not join them on an event to see what it's all about? Fright Nights currently operate at hundreds of the UK's most haunted and exclusive venues with their teams of experienced paranormal investigators, mediums and psychics. You are guaranteed a quality night of ghost hunting unequalled by any other company. They have a VIP members club for regular returning guests, offering discounts and exclusive event invitations. And they can host private events for you and your friends, clubs or work colleagues. They have also expanded their new Friends of Fright Nights pages with many more new things to come. So why not book early with a small deposit so you don't miss out? The balance is due 28 days prior to the event. Contact them on 07852 998 628 or email at frightnightsevents@gmail.com. That's frightnightsevents@gmail.com. Or why not visit their website www.frightnights.co.uk, where you can see the many locations they investigate and learn a lot more about them and the opportunities they have available. You can also visit their many social media sites for up-to-date information on all the places they have been to and what's coming up in the future. They look forward to seeing you soon. Fright Nights Ghost Hunting Events. Remember, only the original will do.
The Hollow Earth conspiracy theory is a little like the Flat Earth Society. Refer back to show 46 of Mark's Unexplained World for this information. But instead of the Earth being flat, proponents of this theory say it is in fact hollow. Hollow Earthers believe that there is a secret world inside the Earth, with some believing that this hidden world is home to an advanced civilization, while others think there are monsters or aliens literally under our feet. Explorers can only access this hidden world through specific entrances located around the globe called vortices or Sims holes. And another interesting side note, John Cleves Sims' concept of polar openings that connect the Earth's surface to an inner Earth was to be his unique contribution to Hollow Earth lore. Such polar openings, therefore, would come to be known as Sims holes. There are supposed to be 3 of these entrances, or Sims holes, leading into the inner parts of the Earth, with one entrance at each of the poles, north and south, and one in the Himalayas. Although some Hollow Earthers believe that one of the vortices is situated in Mount Shasta, which is a potentially active volcano at the southern end of the Cascade Range in California, and some believe it is in the Bermuda Triangle. From what I can gather, Hollow Earth proponents have claimed various different locations for these vortices, which lead inside the Earth. Other than the North and South Poles, other claimed locations include Paris in France, Staffordshire in England, Montreal in Canada, Hangzhou in China, and lastly, the Amazon rainforest. The idea of the Hollow Earth gained more traction in the 19th century when John Cleves Sims proposed his version of this theory. According to Sims, these cavities or Sims holes might be connected, actually forming a hollow Earth. Sims' theories gained a lot of attention, and he even petitioned Congress to fund an expedition to the North Pole so that he could prove his theories were correct. But unfortunately, his journey was never approved, and Sims died without ever being able to prove his theories. But despite this, the idea of a hollow Earth continued to gain popularity, and as a result, there has been a resurgence in the hollow Earth theory. The Hollow Earthers distinguished their theories further by claiming that the Earth's shell is 800 miles thick. In addition, the theory claims that an interior sun is located on the inner surface, complete with night and day cycles. And in addition to the underground city, there are habitable sections between the many layers of the Earth's crust and the centre. Not only that, but some Hollow Earthers actually believe that the Earth, other planets, stars, the moon, and even the sun are also hollow. They also claim that civilizations living under our feet are considered highly advanced and are living in utopia-like society. The members of this underground society are supposed to be a far superior variety of human beings, standing at least 12 feet tall. And they consider themselves to be the descendants of the Nephilim or fallen angels, with some Hollow Earthers believing that this is where the original stories of giants come from. On another interesting side note, the Nephilim are mysterious beings or people in the Hebrew Bible who are described as being large and strong. The word Nephilim is loosely translated as giants in most translations of the Hebrew Bible, but left untranslated in others. Some Jewish explanations interpret them as the hybrid sons of fallen angels or demigods. Author of the book World Top Secret, Our Earth is Hollow, Rodney Clough, is one of the modern day society's most vocal Hollow Earth theorists. According to him, Evidence suggests that the government is totally aware of this hidden world, but chooses to keep it secret from the general public. Rodney Clough believes that the hollow earth theory is gaining in popularity and that a great many people are slowly coming to their senses. Many have even claimed that they themselves have journeyed to the centre of the earth. German writer, spiritualist and author Walburga Lady Paget claimed in her book titled Colleagues with an Unseen Friend that cities existed beneath the desert, which is where the people of Atlantis had moved to. She also claimed that the entrance to this subterranean kingdom will be discovered in the 21st century. British novelist Lobsang Rampa, whose pen name was Cyril Henry Hoskinin, wrote in his book The Cave of the Ancients, said that an underground chamber system exists beneath the Himalayas of Tibet, filled with ancient machinery, records and treasures. And according to the ancient astronaut writer Peter Colosimo, a robot was seen entering a tunnel below a monastery in Mongolia. He also claimed that a light had been seen emanating from underground the Azerbaijan in Eastern Europe. Peter Colosimo and other ancient astronaut writers such as Robert Sharrow have linked these activities to UFOs. Not only that, but cryptozoologist Michael Grumley has claimed to have linked Bigfoot and other hominid cryptids to the ancient tunnel systems underground. Cyrus Teed, a doctor from upstate New York, proposed the concave hollow earth concept in 1869, calling his scheme cellular cosmogony. Teed founded a group called the Caucasian Unity, which was a communal utopia based on this notion of the concave hollow earth concept. He also called the group the Caucasianity, that's right. The main Caucasian Unity colony still survives today, but mainly as a preserved Florida State historic site located at a village called Estero. But naturally, over time, all of Cyrus Teed's original followers have now passed away. Teed's followers claim to have experimentally verified the concavity of the Earth's curvature through surveys of the Florida coastline, making use of the rectilianator equipment. And yes, another interesting side note, the rectilianator consists of several vertical stands and a long horizontal pole. It has been used many times by the Flat Earth Society to measure the curvature of the Earth by placing the stand in line and resting the pole horizontally across them. To be honest, I'm not sure how the rectilianator was used to prove that we are living in a concave hollow Earth, but I couldn't see anything to make it clearer in my research, so I'll have to leave that one to your imagination. All in all, there are in fact two different types of hollow earth concepts. The most popular is the convex hollow earth hypothesis. This is the concept that I have been talking about up until now, which states that humans live on the outside surface of a hollow planet. However, there are some hollow earthers who claim that humans live on the inside surface of a hollow spherical world, so that our universe itself lies in that world's interior, This is what's known as the concave hollow earth hypothesis, or skycentrism. Over the years, several 20th century German writers, including Peter Bender, Johannes Lang, Karl Neupert and Fritz Braul, published works advocating the hollow earth hypothesis. It has even been reported, although apparently without historical documentation, that Adolf Hitler was influenced by the concave hollow earth ideas and sent an expedition in an unsuccessful attempt to spy on the British fleet by pointing infrared cameras up at the sky. Mustafa Abdelkader, an Egyptian mathematician, wrote several scholarly papers working out a detailed mapping of the concave Earth model. And in 1992, Martin Gardner, who was an American mathematician and popular science writer, in one of the chapters of his book, On the Wild Side, discusses the hollow Earth model articulated by the Egyptian Mustafa Abdelkader. Oh God, these names, I tell you. Mustafa Abdelkader. According to Gardner, this hypothesis posits that light rays travel in circular paths and slow down as they approach the centre of the spherical star-filled cavern. Martin Gardner also noted that, and I quote, "Most mathematicians believe that an inside-out universe with properly adjusted physical laws is empirically irrefutable." Gardner himself rejects the concave hollow earth hypothesis on the basis of Occam's razor. Yes, you guessed it, another interesting side note. In philosophy, Occam's razor is the problem-solving principle that recommends searching for explanations constructed with the smallest possible set of elements. It is attributed to William of Ockham, which is a small village in Surrey, England, a 14th century English philosopher and theologian. And although Ockham never used these exact words, the paraphrase is, and I quote, "The simplest explanation is usually the best one." In 1735, Pierre Bouguer and Charles Marie de la Condamine chartered an expedition from France to the Chimborazo volcano in Ecuador. Arriving and climbing the volcano in 1738, they conducted a vertical deflection experiment at 2 different altitudes to determine how local mass anomalies affected the gravitational pull. And on another interesting side note, a vertical deflection experiment is a measure of how the gravity direction at a given point of interest is rotated by local mass anomalies, such as nearby mountains. In a paper written a little over 10 years later, Pierre Bouguer commented that his results had at least falsified the hollow earth theory. And in 1772, British astronomer Neville Maskelyne proposed to repeat the same experiment to the Royal Society of London for improving natural knowledge. Within the same year, the Committee of Attraction was formed, and they sent English astronomer Charles Mason to find the perfect candidate for the vertical deflection experiment. Mason found the Chilean Mountain in Perthshire, Scotland, where the experiment took place. And not only did it support the earlier Chimborazo volcano experiment, but it yielded far greater results. I think it goes without saying, really, that there's no real evidence to support the idea that the Earth is hollow. However, having said that, there are still some people out there that truly believe in the hollow Earth theory, with some people even believing that a secret civilization is living under our feet. At the end of the day, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I don't know whether the Hollow Earth membership has grown or not over the years, but I should imagine that thanks to the internet, it probably has. And I also feel that, again, thanks to the internet, the Hollow Earth theory will continue to entertain, enthrall, and be written about for years to come.
Thank you all for taking the time out to listen to this episode of Mark's Unexplained World. In our next episode, show 54, we are going to be looking at the Smiley Face Killer. The Smiley Face Killings were a theory put forward by retired New York City detectives Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte. It alleges that 45 young men who were found dead in bodies of water across several Midwestern American states from the late 1990s to the 2010s did not accidentally drown, as concluded by law enforcement agencies, but were victims of a serial killer or killers. The term smiley face became connected to the alleged murders when it was made public that the police had discovered graffiti depicting a smiley face near locations where they think the killer dumped the bodies, in at least a dozen of the cases. But law enforcement investigators and other experts have been very sceptical of this theory.
This show was written and researched by myself, Mark Hughes, and proofread and edited by Linda Hughes. The actors in this episode were Mark Hughes, Linda Hughes, and Denise Pooler, with special thanks to Neil Packer and the staff at the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley. And a big thanks to everyone for listening. Mark's Unexplained World, because there's more to the paranormal than meets the third eye. And remember, guys, keep it real, because being real is better than being perfect. This show and all its contents are covered by basic copyright of Mark the Medium.